Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to get on here today with a diet video. It's been a long time since I've done a diet video. And what prompted this is I've changed my diet just a little bit and I wanted to make you aware that this is out there if you have need of it, if you're interested in it. This is called the Wahls Protocol. It was written by Dr. Terry Wahls. She's an MD, I think out of Indiana. I don't know. But she's an MD, and this is a diet describing how she got her health back. In the 80s, when she was in medical school, she started having some symptoms, some neurological symptoms, some face pain, and then that progressed on to more severe symptoms until she was finally diagnosed with progressive MS. She ended up in a wheelchair and she started researching. She started researching diet, supplements, and her whole journey is just inspiring. Now she is out of her wheelchair, she's in remission, and this book tells how she did that. She has an autobiography that I highly recommend. I will link below in the book. And her story is just inspiring. She has videos all over YouTube. I found her on TikTok. Someone was talking about their diet, their Wahls Protocol diet. And I was like, what is that? Well, the minute I heard autoimmune mentioned, it made me pause because I have had strange symptoms in the past and they don't know what they are. I've been tested for MS. I never have it, but I have, weird symptoms that they don't know what they are. So I thought, what's it going to hurt? So I started on this. Now she has 3 levels of this diet. The one I'm on, I did the elimination diet, which is I took a lot of stuff out, and I'm going to tell you what I took out. She's also got a level where you just add good stuff in. Tons of specific kinds of vegetables and fruits and organ meat and fermented foods. She also has a keto level. Well, if you've been with me a while, you know that I have always been low carb. For the past 20 years, I've been low and healthy carb. What I call Atkins maintenance. But I'm real conscious of my carbs. So what I did is I kind of combined 2 parts of this. I do the elimination diet and I do low carb. And I'll tell you, it's kind of a trick on this because if you add in the vegetables that she says to add in, you have to be real careful with your carbs. Okay, so what I did was what I took off. For 3 months, I have taken off gluten. I was already off gluten. I'm gluten sensitive. I will never go back on gluten. So I'm off of gluten. I'm off dairy. I had never even thought about going off dairy. Never. I've never thought that bothers me in any way. But dairy, I think, is known to cause inflammation and mucus. So I was like, well, I'll just get off dairy. I don't eat that much anyway, dairy or drink. I don't drink milk. I drink coconut milk. So I got off dairy. Eggs were so hard to get off of. Now, I took off eggs for 2 months. I just added them back. Now, you're about to see in a Kitchen Empties that I already filmed, I was off of eggs then. Right after that, I added them back. Because I miss them. If I don't have eggs, I don't know how to eat in the morning. And I think eggs make me feel good, but I will let y'all know. Legumes, never thought about taking off legumes, but I took off legumes because they have lectins. Anything with lectins can be, a lot of people are sensitive to it. I also took off nightshades. And I didn't think I was going to. Well, I went low nightshades. I'm just careful with them. Peppers, I still have occasionally. Tomatoes, I still have occasionally, but a lot of people are sensitive to nightshades. So I've taken off or lowered all of this for 2 months. Now, I will tell you on dairy, I had a dairy cheat when I went to a basketball game. I had a dairy cheat and, didn't feel real bad about it. But I had ranch dressing and cheese. within 30 minutes of getting in the car to come home after that, I kept having to clear my throat and coughing and stuff, and like just really kind of felt messy. And my husband even noticed it. He was like, "You're having to clear your throat a lot." And I said, "I think it's that dairy I just ate." And I probably will stay off dairy. I don't miss it. I have a lot of good dairy substitutes, so I'll probably stay off dairy. I'll stay off dairy. I'll stay off gluten. I've already added eggs back. I may stay off lectin type things. Okay, so what did we add in? I have added in the major thing, 3 leafy greens a day. 3 good sized cups of greens. And I'm having kale, Swiss chard, mustard greens, collards, the greens from beets, the greens from turnip greens I eat all the time, but 3 leafy greens a day. She says if you don't like greens but you want them cooked, eat them cooked in fat. Bacon fat and duck fat, things like that. It takes the bitterness. So 3 leafy greens, 3 richly colored vegetables or fruits, berries, that good dark color, beets, that good dark red color, golden beets. Cucumbers count if you eat the peel. Fruits like mangoes, strawberries, again the berries, cantaloupes, a lot of those good deep colors, squash, but I'm careful with my squash because it's got lectins. It's a nightshade, I think it's a nightshade. It's high carb. So if I eat a squash, like a butternut squash or a acorn squash, I cut it in half. But I love squash. That is really good deep colors. And then sulfur, 3 sulfur-rich vegetables. And sulfurs are really good detoxers. They really are good at detoxifying your nerve pathways. I think that's what it's good at. But I know they're good detoxifiers. And I was real low on sulfur. I don't tend to lean towards these. Radishes, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower. I ate a lot of cauliflower. Cabbage, radishes, and turnips. And then there's some garlic, onions. Things that I kind of tended to skimp on are good detoxifiers. So I make sure to get my 3 sulfurs, 3 rich colors, and 3 leafy green vegetables. If you are small like I am, I'm 5'6", and I'm kind of more of a slight build. She said you can go down to having, instead of the 9 cups of vegetables, not 9 servings, 9 cups, you can go down to like 4 to 6. I still try to get all those in. Just real super careful to try to get low sugar vegetables. She also says once a week, 6 ounces of heart, liver, organ meats. No more than 6 ounces a week, because she said an extended use with that over a long term can cause lung damage. So I'm real careful with that. I just do that once a week. And what I use for that, I talk about that in my upcoming Kitchen Empties, it's a mix of beef and heart and liver. And it tastes like hamburger meat. So organ meat, and then fermented foods like sauerkraut, kombucha. That's all I got for you. I'm still not good at those. I have kombucha in there, and I'm so conscious of my carbs, I don't drink it. I'm like, I don't want those carbs. I don't want the calories. I don't like to drink calories. And so I have sauerkraut in there. Again, not great at it. I'm not great at it. I want to talk for a minute about organic and grass-fed meat and organic fruits and vegetables. She has done a lot of research with people, and she's worked with low-income people that cannot afford organic and grass-fed, and they still have improvement, a lot of improvement. Shopping on food stamps, and they still have a lot of improvement. With that many fruits and vegetables, I try to do as many organic as I can. If it's got a peel, I will just do normal. Like cucumbers, I can spray those with a veggie wash, which I'll link down below, and it's fine. It's fine. I really rinse those good, But like blackberries that have all those little pits, you know, the curves in it, where the pesticides can get all down in it, most of the time, I'll get those organic. And the grass-fed, I'm doing grass-fed because I think that makes me feel better. I think the hormones and whatever's in the meat, I think that does tend to make me feel a little bad. I've kind of played around with it. So I do the grass-fed. Now, a real diehard will tell you to do grass-finished because grass-fed, they'll feed them the grass and then they'll finish them on grain before they slaughter. That sounded harsh. So I don't do grass-finished, but I do grass-fed. And I'll list my favorite ones down below. Some of them I have to get at the health food store. The organ meat I have to get at the health food store. I'm going to learn how to fry and try liver some different ways, but right now I get that at the health food store. And that is, that is really it. Right now I am totally grain-free. I will, after 3 months, add back in gluten-free grains a couple of times a week, but right now I've just chosen to be pretty pure with it. On the dairy, I am doing grass-fed butter, and that brings me to fats. A lot of good fats. I heard her on an interview, somebody said, how much olive oil should I have? And she said, take a bath in it. It's so good for you. Good fats are so good for the myelin sheath that surrounds our nerves. Y'all, in the 80s and 90s, I was zero fat. I mean, I've always just gone all in. I was zero fat. So now I'm just really, every time I eat fat, I'm thinking that is giving my brain a bath in it. Our brains are made out of so much fat, and then our myelin sheath needs it. So I am getting the fat, either duck fat, ghee. I'm cooking with ghee, duck fat, bacon fat, lard, anything that's solid at room temperature. If I'm not cooking with it, olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil. I'm eating nuts in this phase. A lot of people cut out the nuts. I am eating nuts. I love nuts. I think they make me feel great. So I'm eating them. She says to soak those, and I don't. I eat raw almonds a lot. Oh, and she also mentions variety. Get a variety. Don't eat the same things every day, and I'm the worst at that. But, don't stick to the same fruits and vegetables all the time. So every time I go, I'm trying to, try something new. Get something. If you got broccoli last time, get asparagus this time. If you got radishes this time, get beets this time. So really try to eat a variety of meats. I've started eating bison, venison, fish, scallops. Just a lot of good variety. Let me just tell you a couple of the immediate effects I noticed. I used to get cramps in my feet so bad. They would both cramp at one time. I never get that anymore. And if I would flex my feet, I would always get a cramp. When I get massages, my feet would start cramping up. My masseuse was like, are you all right? But I would cramp so easily. I don't at all. What else? I had a low level of an aching numbness in my lower legs at night, sitting on the couch. I don't anymore. And I have an aching when I sleep at night. I don't know what it is. And that has gotten a little bit better. It seems to be improving. So I'll keep y'all updated on that. But if you feel like you've got, just some things that just don't feel right with you, that is the time to jump on it before it turns to something worse. She has tested this diet on people with autoimmune, but also brain damage, Parkinson's, I think Lou Gehrig's disease maybe, but Parkinson's for sure, cancer. It's all these veggies and good fats and organ meats. They have to be good for you. So anyway, that's what I'm doing in a nutshell. If you have any questions, put them down below or DM me, and that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave comments and questions down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Bye.